Thanks for tuning into this episode. Today we're going to be doing a review, not so much a review, but just me looking at the artwork of Walter Simonson's Battlestar Galactica Art Edition. Right over here, Art Edition. Deluxe edition with the exclusive signed 11 by 17 signed print. Is there a signed print? I just bought this. I don't think there's a signed print in there, but I'm just going to do a quick look because I just got this. Oh, you know, there it is. Are you kidding me? Is this a sign? Oh my, dude, I did not know there was a sign print that came with this. I just bought, oh, this is, oh my, this is so cool. It's sign print. I did not know that there was a sign print that came with this. I just ordered this online and I think it only cost me like $60, even a lower price than what it was sold for originally. I don't know what the regular price is. I just bought it. Didn't say anything about a signed print. This is so awesome. Look at that. Walt Simonson's dinosaur signature right over here. Okay. Anyway, sorry about the excitement. I'm going to self-plug a little bit of some of my work, so if you're interested, I'm going to put this aside and we're going to come back to this later. Check out one of my most recent works that I've done for DC Comics. This is Black Adam, Rise and Fall of an Empire. Okay, and here's this. I'm gonna put the barcode there. I'm also gonna list the this link on the bottom of the video description. So if you want to order one of the books that I've worked on, here's me. I'm gonna show you the credits page. Here is my name, Walden Wong, among some of the artists that worked on this issue. Right over there. Save the best for last. And then here's a really thick graphic novel. The price for this graphic novel is $34.99. Okay. And it's a really thick book. So if you watch the movie Black Adam, there's a lot of good stories in here. So we're going to talk about this book, Walter Simonson's Battlestar Galactica. I'm not that much of a fan of Battlestar Galactica, but I'm a huge fan of Walter Simonson. Oh my God, there's deluxe edition exclusive with the signed print. I did not know that. I'm going to put the signed print back in there. That is such a nice treat. I'm going to... Man, one more look at the print. Let me see. Nothing on the back of the print. Right here, we have this deluxe signed edition. I wonder if there was a regular edition. Okay, so this is the print, and there's finally I have Walter Simonson's signature. And I don't really care about. I've never met him in person, so this is a nice treat. One of my things that I really wanted was to get Walter Simonson's signature because of the way he signs his name, his autograph. This is so nice. I'll put this back in here. Okay, and then we're gonna look at the rest. Okay, so here's the book. Okay, it's spot gloss. Can we zoom back a little bit? Spot gloss. Here's the spine. This was made by Dynamite. Walter Simonson's Battlestar Galactica Deluxe Art Edition. I remember reading a Battlestar Galactica when I was not reading, but watching the TV show. And then here's this side, and then here's the back. Walter Simonson, my first time exposed to his work was when he was working on X Factor for Marvel Comics. So, we start from here? Okay, I'm going to crack it open. And here's the first page, Walter Simonson Artist Edition. Let me turn on the spotlight so we can see more in detail. Dynamite Entertainment presents Walter Simonson's Battlestar Galactica Art Edition by Dynamite. Okay. And then here's some of the information. Looks like they have certain issues over here, not in order, like issue 16, 19, 20, 22, 23. And then these are the original editors. Lewis Jones. I believe Lewis Jones is now named Lewis Simonson, which is, at the time, Lewis was Walter Simonson's editor, and they got married, and Lewis got just changed the name to Simonson, Lewis Simonson. Alan Milgram, Jim Shooter. Okay. For Wheezy is Louise, who makes everything worthwhile. Okay, so this is a dedication that Walt Simonson wrote. She wrote, for Wheezy, who makes everything worthwhile. She tells me she would have picked me to write the book even if I hadn't been her boyfriend. Walter Simonson. Thank you, sugar. Yep, there we go. And then here's the information that Walter Simonson wrote in 2017. Feel free to pause the video if you want to read all of that. You know what? I'll hold it closer to the camera so you have a big reel. Just pulse, read, go over here, pulse, read, and then a little bit on the bottom. Pulse and read. Okay, we're going to continue moving forward with the artwork right here. There we have Battlestar Galactica, the Cylon mark in Indicia. So these pages are, it's turning yellow. I don't know why it's turning yellow here. I really like the way Walter Simonson's created his artwork. He does so much energy in his art. He's one of the artists that, even back then when I was reading some of his X Factor, he also worked on Thor and created Beta Ray Bill, one of the Thor characters. Very, very electric, the way he draws. Okay, I think he also inks his own work as well. Let's look at the credits to see if he, for this one, if he was, yeah, he pencils and inks it. Okay. Klaus Janson worked on some over here. Klaus Janson worked on it, but on the first one, he penciled and inked his own work. So this is issue 16. We're going to keep track, okay? So issue 16, he pencils the ink, and after that, everything else is Klaus Janson. Klaus Janson is also the inker that inked Frank Miller on Dark Knight Returns. Okay, he's a really legendary inker. Okay, we're going to go and continue here. Okay, a lot of good contrast here. This is the Battlestar Galactica ship, so in whiteout. Let me see what the letter is. Sometimes I keep track of the letter because I used to letter comic books myself. Graphic novel was Rick Parker, Joe Rosen. So there's a few, Jim Novak. There's a few different letterers. Sometimes it's hard to tell which letter did what because most letters are somewhat similar. When I'm working on comic books or when I'm looking at other comic book artwork, I can tell right away like who drew this based on their art style. Continued after second page following 19, 20, 21, and then 22. Okay, these numbers here does not represent the numbers that are written up here. Actually, it does. 19. Okay, it was. When Walter was working on it, he wrote his numbers, and then that was changed because they were adding ads to it. And then, so right here, 19, you have a page 20 ad and page 21 ad, and then it jumps to page 22, and then they just changed that accordingly. That's why. So, like, if you look at some of the earlier pages, let's see, looks like they changed every page number. Anyway, we're going to continue looking at this. Then here's some of this character. I don't even know who these characters are. I just like the artwork. Okay, the layout, a lot going on. Okay, tapering the lines, paste ups over here. So, and this was done when I can tell, like, looks like they're cutting pages again. See, like if you looked at some of my other videos, I talked about how some of the original art, the top is cut off. That was because they had to, the publishers would have to send artwork to the printers, and the printers would have to cut this to fit onto these plate that has these little notches in order to fit in there and make sure everything was scanned a little bit better. This was before Marvel Comics and DC Comics. And some of the bigger publishers had their own big scanners, and way before artists was able to buy scanners on their own, affordable scanners especially. So artists that would do the work would have to send the original artwork to the publishers. Publishers would send it to the printers. Printers would scan it. After they scan it, they would send it to the like a scanning company, and then after a scan, it would be colored. Okay, coloring was also like today. Coloring is much easier in comics. It's all colored on Photoshop, but back then it was color separation, and there would be an artist that would do the color guides. They would actually color something with markers and stuff. After coloring it, they would actually have another piece of paper or on the side of the like a photocopy. So imagine this is the original artwork that the colorist got. Okay, after he got the scan, he would also have a photocopy of a smaller one and then they color it up with markers, whatever markers, which is called the color guide. That color guide on the side of the pages will have numbers written on them. Those numbers are for the printer to know what colors to use to color them. Okay, it's not like today where a colorist would just color everything on the computer. Printers would actually fill those colors. So back then, comic book coloring was a flat color, not like some of the newer colors these days where you see a lot of different tones in coloring work. Like for example, if we look, so I'm going to show you. So some of the comics back then, well, actually, most comics today, there's tones to it. Like for example, like a lighter yellow, and then an orange, and then a darker orange. Just different hues of colors. But back then, there's something that I worked on. Back then, everything was just like a flat, kind of like a newspaper color. So if this outfit was brown, everything would be brown. There would be no light brown or dark brown. Okay, here's some zipper tones that was used over here. Okay, Klaus Janson. So on the first issue, or the earlier issue 19, different inker. Was it a different inker? Klaus Janson. Okay, issue 19. Walter Simonson. Issue 20. Klaus Janson. Okay, that's Klaus Janson's work. Okay, Steve Olive coloring. Steve Olive is one of the best colorists during his time. Probably even so now. He had Oleoptics. Oleoptics was a color separation company where I remember he was using a Macintosh to do a lot of coloring. He was way above a lot of colorists who was doing color guides and writing numbers. He was actually coloring on the Mac computer and separating the colors. It had tones. He's also one of the color artists that first worked on a comic book that was colored for Marvel Comics. That comic book is called Akira, which was also a Japanese manga graphic novel these days. Okay. These pages here, the reason they're kind of brownish is because they're paste stubs. Okay, these are pieces of paper that the letterer would type in and then print it out on a regular piece of paper and then just glue stick it on. The discoloration is because of the glue stick. I used to do the same thing when I was helping Viz Media out. We would print that out, and then we'll use glue stick to glue on the back, stick it on, and then use the X-Acto knife and cut around these word balloons, and then peel off the extras that's not there. Because of the glue stick residue, it does turn the paper yellow over time. And here's the thing: I can tell that looking through the glue stick. The glue stick is turning this paper kind of translucent. I can see the artwork that was drawn inside. So Walter Simonson and Klaus Janson originally drew and inked everything before the word balloons, and then it was sent to the letterer. Yeah, I can see some of the artwork that's underneath this, which is kind of cool. Like the color scanning for this book was done really well. So that was one of the things that I was also like not too cool about when I'm working in comics. I remember working on Justice League of America for DC Comics, and then I would get the pencils and I would ink it. After inking it, I would send the artwork to the letterer, and then the letterer would cover up all the artwork that I spent inking in the background. Like this is some of the lines that's here. So this letter, like luckily he just cut the hand off. But I've seen some letters that because there's so much word balloons, it would just cover up so much of the head, or some of the details on the background. Like we would spend so much detail drawing some of the background furniture and tech over there, and it just gets covered up. If we knew that was going to get covered up, we wouldn't have drawn all that in detail. So if you're an original art collector, here's another thing that you need to be careful about. Some of these, they'll fall out, especially these tails over here. We call them tails. The tails, after a while, they'll just start peeling off. And if you don't take care of them, the whole thing will just fall right off. If you want to keep it there, just keep it there. Keep it like framed or in a sleeve. But if you want to protect the artwork, I recommend removing those peels if you're collecting the original artwork, because anything that has an adhesive sticking residue on it will always turn the artwork yellow. Like something that was here it just turned to yellow. I think there was originally like a different hair color. Someone just glued it there and just removed it. Maybe Klaus Janson did something over there. This moon over here, the reason it's a little bit more yellow is because this Zipatone, which is a plastic sheet that they use, and they would stick it there to create that little dot pattern. And because of that sticky residue, it just turns the paper yellow underneath. Okay, it turns the regular printer paper yellow. So here, what happened here is the letterer would actually type all this out in words on the computer, and then print it out on a regular piece of paper, and then glue stick this over here. After glue sticking it, then he would draw the word balloons around it. That's why this whole section is like that. So what he's doing, he's taking the scans of the original artwork, placing on his computer. After placing on a computer, he would type everything in and then print it out accordingly. That's why everything is matching, like all these is matched. And then he would just cut and paste it in there. Look at the artwork on this one. Okay, I can see some of the gray areas of the ink that Simonson is using. It looks like he's using a brush. Majority of his work looks like his brush work. Okay, he's also inking these lines with a brush. I don't know which brush, but he's inking lines with the brush. There's some whiteout, so there was some changes that was done here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so we can see more. The World of the Killing. I'm going to go here. Battlestar Galactica, that's the cover. Is that the same as the front cover? Nope. Okay, so I'm curious. The book that I got here, it says deluxe edition with exclusive 11x17 signed art print. Is there a regular edition? So those of you who are reading this, can you comment down below and let me know if there was a regular edition that did not include a sign print, or every one of them came with a sign print? And if yours was a regular edition, was this the same cover that was on the regular edition? So this was a nice bonus for me. Paying like a lower price and then all of a sudden getting a deluxe one. I didn't know it was going to be a deluxe one. And not only that, there was a sign print from Walter Simonson. That's a huge plus. Here's more of some of the works. So when I'm looking at this, like those word blues, like it kills me to see that the artwork is kind of like turning yellow. Looks like there was a acrylic paste up here. Okay, this one looks, you see the color over here? Everything is black, and over here it's kind of purplish. Looks like there was an acrylic paste, like almost like a plastic sheet that Simonson placed here and just redrew over it. I don't know why he did it that way, just to make it look like it's translucent, like through a glass or something. Not sure why. Okay, we want to look at this. The spatter effect. Artists will use toothbrush or a brush, dip it in ink, and they will spatter this all here. This white area, Simonson would actually cut a little piece of paper like that's round and then start spattering everything in black. After everything is spattered in black, then he would go in there with whiteout and white out all these areas. You'll see that some of these areas are spattered, so Simonson would use whiteout to like clean it up a little bit. And then right here, this part, he wanted this to be white, so he used whiteout to clean that up a bit. Good way to protect the areas. What I used to do before spattering on Photoshop, I would actually make a photocopy of this 11x17. After I would make a photocopy, I would just use a regular piece of paper and scissors, and then just cut. Now, if you use scissors, just cut out that photocopy, place it over here, cut this piece out, place it here, and then start doing the spattering with the toothpaste. Some artists, they would actually go there and just use a brush. So when I'm spattering with a brush, I'll hold the brush like this, and then I'll dip it in ink. After dipping in ink, I'll just start spattering like this. Okay, and then ink will go here. Or you can just go like this with your finger if you don't mind your fingers getting dirty. That's another way of doing spatter. Right here, you see this these tone area. So originally there was some kind of word balloons here, but it just fell off and it was lost. So we don't know what was over there. Okay, whiteout is always going to be white, nice and clean white. And the paper always fade if you would take care of your original artwork. Look at the perspective that's drawn here. The perspective going this direction. The vanishing point is at the person. So everything follows that vanishing point. Okay. So for example, if I had this person pointing here, these points, those lines follows that vanishing point. This is a good way for an artist to draw everything where the vanishing point is going that direction. It forces the eye to look exactly directly at where that person is. This person looks like it's inked with a ballpoint pen. Yeah, this looks like it's a ballpoint pen, which is okay. Ballpoint pen it still works. When you're inking, you don't have to. You can actually use whatever art materials that you have, as long as it creates the artwork that you want. We're going to continue looking at some of the other pages. So far, so good. So this looks like, let me see. I wonder what year Simonson worked on Battlestar Galactica. Let's see. I don't think it says what year Battlestar. Maybe, yeah, it says that 1970s. Walter Simonson first got into comics in 1972, and Battlestar Galactica was created in 1978. So this was drawn in 1978 or thereabouts. If you know exactly when, comment down below on the video, on the links below in the comment section to let us know when Battlestar was being published. Better yet, if you own these issues, comment down below and let me know what you thought of Battlestar Galactica. I never actually read it myself, or I don't think there's any trade paperbacks out there. These are inked with microns, so there were microns. These were not a micron like those felt pins back in the day. It's because it's faster. I think we'll look at some. Yeah, so these are felt pins instead of using a brush, or looks like the inker who was inking this had other pins to use. We have some thumbprints over here, fingerprints. So that's another inking technique. I'm going to bring this closer to the camera so you know what I'm talking about. Some artists, when they're doing this fog technique over here, what they're doing is they're dipping their fingers in the ink and then they're pressing this thumbprint. You can see the thumbprints right over here. It creates a nice texture right over here. Here's another thumbprint effect. So that's whoever's inking this is their actual thumbprint. So if they got in trouble for, like, I don't know, robbing a store or something, and they had the same thumbprint, just pull out this comic book to see if this is the inker that did the the robbing or something. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to create that technique. I wouldn't use my thumbprint. I would actually use like a sponge and just sponge it in. So that will also work as well. Okay, here's some of the pages here. And again, if I'm going too fast, feel free to pause the video. If you want to read the comic, you can also pause the video and read it. I'm just going through the book to look at the artwork. And if you're interested in getting this, you should be able to get them in the secondary market. If there's any on Amazon, I'll list the item link below so you can order it as well. I got this a few months ago. I'm not sure if it's in the secondary market, so very lucky that I got that, especially with a Walter Simonson signature bonus that I didn't even think that was like a thing that was there. Okay, there's some notes to the, see, add new background. I'm not sure what that reads. Okay, those markers, they turn gray. They're not waterproof ink, so they're always either going to turn brown or gray. Okay, so we'll see that the letterer here, they just placed this whole thing here, but didn't cut off the center. They don't really need to cut off the center because it's going to be white anyway. And then here's this Battlestar. We get schedule September. Artist Simonson, January. Xerox lawyer, due date, stat. We don't really see that this much these days. Like, what's the step to the Xerox? Make the Xerox. Make sure you make the Xerox. The lawyers get it when it's due. The size, dimensions. Jim Shooter calls Jansen. Editor-in-chief Jim Shooter. I've met Jim Shooter before. Haven't met some of these other artists yet. So hopefully I'll see them in the future convention. I know of them. I see the work. I see them on social media posting, or when comic book artists are being a guest at a show, I'll see pictures of them. So I know of them, but I never actually met them in person or friends with him. Working in comics, I've been working in comics for 20-something years. And after a while, you do get to know a lot of artists, and the artist gets to know you. And sometimes you're following their work, or they're following your work, and you don't know each other. And then when you do meet, it's like you know each other already when you're working in comics. It's funny how that works. Okay, very, very good. I think some of the later work that Walter Simonson, it was really detailed. Even back then, this style of work that he's doing back then is really designish, like really like design. Like he's really good with laying out the character, creating the flow of the eye from the viewer. Okay, I'm gonna go a few more pages left. Didn't write down the book number, issue number. I wonder if these were pages that Walter Simonson had, so they're complete issues. I don't know. Or maybe Klaus Janson had like part of it, or the publisher had all the pages. It's really rare is to, back then, some of the, what's the name of this character? I remember this guy, Nanu or something, or Bibu or something. He's like this fuzzy bear that's part robot. What's his name? Muffy. I know he was like a brown colored character. I remember watching a TV commercial when I was a little kid and seeing that character walk around. I think it was a regular person wearing the costume, just on all four arms and legs, just walking on the floor. Here says this issue, this page, snap. Whoa, look at the perspective on this. Look how nice that looks. Vanishing point. Here's the center. Everything go towards the center here. All this. Simonson is really good at vanishing points. There we go. And that's the last. So that's Battlestar Galactica. Walter Simonson's Battlestar Galactica. Let me turn off the spotlight so there's no reflection over here. Okay, right over here. If you enjoy it, so again, please subscribe to my channel if you enjoy videos that I make here. If you haven't done so, just hit the subscribe button, smash that like button. It'll help me with the channel, and share the video if you enjoy these videos. The more people that sees it, the more I can make these videos. And check out my Patreon page. So if you enjoy these videos that I make and you want to show some support, check out my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/WaldenWongArt. And over there, there's different tiers that you can show support. And there's also mentorship if you're looking for mentorship, like from a professional artist. That's myself. Okay, I will look at your artwork and I will make a critique. And if you look at some of my other videos, you'll see I have a art review and critique videos. Walter Simonson's real signature. So that means he actually held this page over here. How cool is that? This is a real signature. It looks like it's signed with a Sharpie. So until next time, we'll look for some of my other videos, and keep on drawing, keep on reading, watch this video again, and take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.